Hello everyone, I'm Chester44 and welcome to this Let's Play of Neverwinter Nights 2, Mask of the Betrayer. Last episode, we finally found our way towards the headmistress's... well, actually, while we did see Ahriman briefly, we also ended up encountering the god of the dead himself. The dead god of the dead, Mirkwool. And we learned much about our curse. Turns out, his priest, Akachi... Well, we do know about Akachi's crusade and everything that happened. Now we know more. His crusade failed. And Mirkwool punished him by putting him into the Wall of the Faithless, and then tearing him out at the end, leaving him an empty husk, constantly hungering. And now he's stuck inside us. We're stuck with it. The only way we can do anything is by tearing our own soul free from the Wall of the Faithless, where it was placed in his place. It was also done as a way to make sure Mirkwool didn't fully die, but we used our power to put him to rest. Now it's time to go through this portal and see what we find in the Sanctum. Ahriman already ran through there. And it seems Act 3 begins. Legacy of the Headmistress. And we have more Mirkwoolites here we must kill. Very well then. Those Mirkwoolites are dead. Drop powerful things. More Mirkwoolites. There's going to be a lot of fighting here. And we leveled up. Oh, good. And I see more in there. Get in there. Kill them. I've taken a lot of damage. I don't care for that. Appears to be some sort of portal here. There, that's those Mirkwoolites all dealt with. It was quite a challenge. An Eldritch Charm. Interesting. And there's a hidden door here. Very interesting. First, I leveled up. This may be the last level up I get, I think. Diplomacy, Intimidate, and Lore. And with that, we're level 30. I don't know if we're going to level up again. We may. It'll be interesting if we do. There's a door over here, curiously. Well, this leads to something. There's nothing there. Let's continue looking through these other doors before we investigate. Teleporters. They're specifically teleporters. Okay, then. there's another here. Very well then. So if we step onto this teleporter... Ah! And we are fighting creatures. We ended up in a room with a bunch of elementals. Fine. And if we step through this one... we end up back where we started. So that one was a dead end. Good to know. What of this one, though? Or either of these? Let us start with this one. Nightwalkers. There is a chest here. We've been blinded. Kaji is gone. It's really annoying how I can't actually attack anything while I'm blinded. Oh, thank you. Now I can attack it. And here, a chest. Containing what? Kepituri Crest. This heavy shield was once held in the Mulhorandi prayer towers of Kepitor. After the towers fell to the archfiend Atab and his minions, it ended up in the powerful hands of the Thayans. Interesting. +6 shield bonus, wisdom bonus, and sunburst.
Yes?
That's actually better. I think it's worth it to give it to you. And what's the Eldritch Charm? This amulet once belonged to the great warlock Alaron Ophon, who had created an institution not dissimilar from the Academy of Shapers and Binders. With their dark contracts and imbue item ability, warlocks excelled at such research, and many came to study and learn from Alaron. While a skilled practitioner of the arts, Alaron had little patience for diplomacy, and this ultimately led to his downfall. The Red Wizard saw his school as too great of a threat, and demolished it after a fierce magical battle that lit up the skies of Thaymount for miles. Only warlocks can use it, not for us. You, however...
Yes.
You can take the Kepituri Crest. The Mirror Shield can be sold. You... the Wisdom bonus will help.
Yes.
Alright. So we go through this teleporter and end up where? Back where we began. So the only other way we can go is through this teleporter. Where are we? More Merkulites. Kill them quickly. And a level up. Excellent.
Yes?
Alright, let's give you another level up to 28. That was actually very quick. Any spells we want? Let's see here. True Seeing. Maybe not. 6. Firebrand might actually be useful. Level 4 spells. Elemental Shield actually isn't that bad an idea. Okay. And, oh! Look at that. A level 1 spell. Level 3 spell. Fireball. Level 4 spell. We can put a Remove Curse on. That would actually be good to have. Level 5. Is Fire Burst. Huh. Yeah, go with Firebrand, that seems interesting. Level 7. Put a Prismatic Spray in there. Level 8. Go with Sunburst. And level 9. We've got 2 Meteor Swarms. We've got Netherrealness. Wait, what's Wail of the Banshee? Succeed at a Fortitude save or die. Never the best. Mordenkainen's Disjunction. Let's go with Greater Spell Mantle. A protective spell. Okay. So what's through here? We end up back where we started. Alright. So we've got a door here. Nah, you shouldn't be in front. And in here, a few Merkulites and Ahriman. Okay then. We have made our way in. The time has come to deal with them. If everyone would please just come.
Leave no one standing.
Come on, Amund. We need your help. Even if you are frightened. Now you're not.
Wait. Stay your hands, all of you. This is my brother, though his face is not his own. Faith and blood are the strongest ties of all. Stronger than comradeship. Purer than the intrigues of love. Forgive me for what I do here, but Akachi's sin must be washed clean. My fight has always been with the Red Woman, from the very start.
The Red Woman. Is that who you hunt at Merkul's command?
She is a faithless soul. That is all she ever was. But my brother... But you could not see. Her charms dragged Akachi from his god and his faith, and dragged me as well. For what was I but his shadow? And when death took her suddenly, he betrayed our god, all the gods, to tear her from the wall. He failed the test that Merkul set before him.
And the Red Woman is connected with Sophia somehow, isn't she?
No, you are mistaken. Deeply mistaken. Do not go down that road. Nothing good will come of it.
With the daughter. I thought there were only 3, but no. Clever girl.
The Red Woman was Akachi's lover. He waged this crusade for her?
Selfish. My brother never spared a thought for those who suffered on her behalf. They believed in his crusade, or they trusted him. But my brother's only thought was for her. It was never the woman that I hated. It was the evils that we committed in her name.
Then the crusade might have begun as you say, but Akachi also opposed the injustice of the wall.
Whatever its foundation, it became a higher calling. That is what must be taken from it.
Injustice? Mortals and gods are bound together by faith. Tear all the souls from the wall, and you shatter the order of the planes. Look at the chaos that this one soul has caused. Would you save thousands, only to doom millions? I will send the Red Woman back to the wall, or I will die and go to my judgment with an untroubled heart.
Such as it goes, then. The priests must be the first to die. Why can I not move? There we go. Defeat the Merkulite priests. And Ahriman. got stunned or something. Ahriman has fallen. Another Merkelites. And down. That was a bit of a fight. Chromatic Crown. Granted to only the most dedicated of the Dragon Queen's followers, this circlet is designed to protect its wearer with the powers of all 5 chromatic dragons. However, instead of focusing solely on giving one key item so much power, it could be argued that the Mother of Dragons forgot the one enchantment that could have made the most difference in its use to her. A spell to keep the disloyal from wearing it. Poison saving throws, and resistance to acid, cold, electrical, and fire. Which is actually pretty good. In fact, I think it's better than the Moonstone Mask. Even if I end up looking kinda silly like this. No, I'd rather hold on to this mask. The Chromatic Crown is very useful, but I don't care for it. And in here, we have golems. And more.
This place feels strange. As if the objects in here are alive.
Get you back from her!
Hessa, Jasima, Shul, give me a moment to gaze upon.
Mother? I thought you were dead, and you're...
Ancient, wrinkled, a doddering crone. No, I am not the woman you remember, Sophia. Nor am I your mother in the sense you have always believed me to be.
The voices. I understand it now. You and I, my mother, we're all parts of the same person. The same soul.
My sweet daughter, you are all that was best in me. Everything that Akachi loved and gave his soul to protect lives in you. Of all the wicked things I have done to save him, you are innocent, blameless. You began as a part of me, Sophia, but now you are more.
So the woman I knew as my mother, was me. Or rather, us?
I'll tell you all of it, Sophia. Let me just greet...
Yes, all in good time. There's someone you should meet.
My dearest, look at us. You wear the face of a stranger, and I've known hags that are comelier than the prune that I've become. What a pair we are, my love. I must be hideous to you. To him, if Akachi was not the thing that he is, he would turn away from me with loathing.
I'm sorry, but I am not the person you think I am.
Oh, I don't think you are him. Not really. My Akachi is gone. Little remains of him but a mindless hunger seething beneath your flesh. And the fault is mine. I was the one he went to save. The soul he tore from the wall. So much lost for one fool girl. My beloved launched a crusade and sacrificed all that he was. Better that he had left me to rot, perhaps, and found another pretty thing to distract him from his faith.
I thought Akachi's crusade was for justice. To save all the souls in the wall, not just one.
And what war has ever been fought for one reason only? I think he came to see what was wrong with his god, with all the gods, because of me. If he was here, I would tell him, I have never rested since that day. This academy, all you've seen here, all this was for him. I know I cannot bring him back, but I can end his pain and the punishment that he never deserved. You have given me that chance.
Strange. I don't recall you asking for my help.
Did I place you in the barrow? Yes. Allow you to be joined with the monster that my beloved has become? Yes. did I tear the shard of Gith from your chest, not with pride. But yes, I have deceived you, relied upon your own self-interest to end my lover's curse, done evil for his sake, yes.
Then you deceived me as well. You never told me the truth. You merely said...
that the stranger's life was worth more to me than all the lives on all the planes. That you should treat this stranger as if...
As if I loved him.
Sophia, I never lied to you. You didn't understand my words then, but they were true nonetheless. And you, stranger, who have suffered so much for a love you never knew, yes, you must think me a monster. But what do good or evil matter in the face of love? Love will break an oath, shatter a man's faith, and outlive God's. Love endures when your greatest hope is merely to end the suffering of your beloved, even if he can never again be yours.
Liena, Nephris, they were pieces of your soul like Sophia.
Fragments, yes. If one of us was slain, the others would carry on, and Akachi would not be abandoned. And each of them had talents of her own. A mind, a soul, can be teased apart, its elements distilled. Every person has talents, weaknesses, obsessions, all but the strongest are drowned out in the clamor of the mind. Sever one aspect from the rest, and suddenly it is stronger, more focused than it was as part of the whole.
Then, the voices I hear...
Were our voices, yes, our thoughts. We were linked together, Sophia, our minds never truly separate. Nephris wanted you to know. She thought it practical to tell you, but I forbade it. If you shared in our secret, you'd have shared in our blame.
Sophia said the voices were louder at times. They kept her out of danger.
We understood the connection, Liena, Nephris, and myself. We could hear each other's thoughts when we chose to listen. And yes, we could speak to one another through our minds, but the bond became weaker with time as each of us grew slowly apart, became her own woman. Liena was the most difficult of all, living in a foreign land, adopting their language and customs. That is why we created the portals, so that Nephris could visit her, to ensure that she did not stray. We all watched over you, Sophia, and made our voices heard when you needed us. You were most precious of all.
I always heard you. Low voices. A crowd of people in another room. But when I'd search for you...
You could never find us, and you learned to ignore our voices over time. Just as we hoped, my sweet daughter. By your ignorance, we kept you safe. Even Ahriman never guessed what you really were.
What part of you was Liena?
She was all that imagines and questions, withholds judgment, and sees all things anew. What better fragment to be my eyes in a foreign land than one that could love the land and its people as an old Théan never could?
And Nephris, the headmistress? What part of you was she?
Nephris. The one I knew as mother, who was really just a fragment of you.
She is not gone, Sophia. Her fragment has returned to the whole, to me. She loved you dearly, as I do. Can you guess what part she was, daughter?
Your resolve. The unyielding scholar, the dutiful mother. A woman that men wouldn't love, but that a daughter could admire.
Not without sweetness to temper her, and that sweetness I gave to another.
Let us speak of something else.
Of questions, or of judgments.
How could you be sure that I'd find my way here?
I never meant to leave you on your own. Liena would have told you what you were, enough to understand your curse, but not to lay the blame on me. Liena and Nephris, my hands in the world outside this sanctum. Ahriman slew them both. He had watched me, waiting for all my fragments to reveal themselves. He knew of Nephris already. When he found Liena, he struck. And you were abandoned, with only my Sophia to guard your way.
You allowed Ahriman to join your academy. Why?
Understand, when I knew Ahriman, he was the pale-faced little brother. So silent, so shy, he hardly spoke a word. I thought him centuries dead, like all the rest, and the years had changed him, as much or more than me. I was not looking for him, so I did not see.
And if Ahriman hadn't struck, what then?
Nephris would have told you all this, the truth. She'd have given you the sword as well. But she'd have left one truth untold. You would never have learned of me. Nephris was prepared to play my part, and to die at your hand if need be. A simple piece of theater, a single lie, hidden beneath many truths. Lyanna knew stagecraft, and she thought that best.
Why the deception? You're not willing to face the consequences of your own plots?
I would face the wall itself once I knew that Akachi was at peace, but not before. What if you fail? Do you think I wouldn't try again? I would sacrifice 1,000 like you if that's what it took to save him.
Why use me? Why not someone else?
Because you had the will to master the Blade of Gith, and because through the sword you are bound to my beloved and to all the sword bearers. In a sense, you are his heir, the first in many long centuries, and some part of him knows it. You have more control over your hunger than any of the others.
Myrkul has manipulated you. He told me that I can free myself, but not Akachi.
Then he lied. Your salvation is Akachi's as well. The dead god told me as much, and I was not kind in my questioning. Here is the Sword of Gith. Its pieces gathered together, the blade reforged as one. It will see you safely through the Betrayer's Gate, to the realm of the dead. I can do nothing more for you, for him. If I've earned your vengeance, then take it.
Wait, I have questions that need to be answered.
Yes, I'll answer what I can.
What was Akachi doing in Oku's barrow?
My beloved wore many faces before he was bound to you. The last was a Rashemi, a wizard. The wizard never knew what he was, but he tried to control the hunger, and he learned how it passed from one face to the next. So he struck a deal with the bear spirit, and built wards in the lowest chamber of the barrow. He knew that the hunger would consume him, and when it did, the empty soul of my beloved would be trapped, unable to find a new mask. I helped him in this, through Lyanna. She gave him knowledge of the proper wards. If my beloved was bound, I could keep a closer watch on him until I found a way to save him.
I met an ally of mine in your academy. He's right here. His soul had been ripped from his body. Was that your doing?
That one studied amongst my people years ago. He even came to this academy for a time, to follow the trail of the sword. Nephris knew him by sight, and she knew the threat he posed. When our couriers took you, he followed, and she acted swiftly against him. Oh, he fought her, but he was weak from your battle, and Nephris was always the strongest of my fragments.
So you split his soul from his body? A cruel fate, and undeserved.
Cruel? Compared to your fate? Of all my cruelties in love's name, I have far worse to answer for. And that cruelty was a mercy in truth. Nephris counseled me to slay him, but I stayed her hand. His body and soul would have been restored once you were joined to Akachi, but Ahriman acted first.
Your death. How did that happen?
My magic was always different, tearing at forbidden boundaries, changing the nature of things, even before his curse gave it focus. A careless moment, concentration loss, a senseless mistake, that was all it took.
Ahriman called your death a test. Are you certain it was an accident?
I've never remembered it well, though I assumed the moment of my death would be difficult to precisely recall. A shadow passing across my eyes, a sudden confusion. They might have been real. Myrkul's hand might have brushed my mind, cost me focus when I needed it most. Was it a test of faith? Did Akachi love me better, or his god? Myrkul got his answer, whether he forced the point or not.
I've relived Akachi's memories in my dreams. I think Myrkul lied, and perhaps he could be restored.
I wasted years believing that I could somehow restore what he was. Scattered fragments of memory do not make a whole. You might give him silence, peace. That is the most I can hope.
Wait, look at this. I found these masked fragments in dreams, and when I awoke, they were in my hand.
Even if a part of his essence exists in these fragments, you would have to face him somehow and join all his scattered pieces into one. How does one face an empty thing? A hunger that lies within you. Until you reclaim your own soul, you will be too weak. And when your soul is returned to you, the hunger will be snuffed out, and Maya Kachi will be silenced at last. Years ago, I dared hope for more. Do not make me walk that road again, when it is always for naught.
If I tear my soul from the wall, how will that defeat the curse?
Maya Kachi has become an emptiness that walks. Merkel would have you believe that nothing of him remains, but echoes of him still drift within. When he takes a mortal form, he casts out the soul, sends it to the wall, in the place where he once lay. If your soul could be returned to your mortal body, and his emptiness has no means of escape, I believe he could be filled up and snuffed out. And that part of him that remains would disperse, and know peace at last. The dead god said as much to me, and I gave him reason to speak the truth.
I have no other questions.
Then, only one thing remains.
I don't slaughter old women, no matter how much they might deserve it.
She manipulated you, used you, and yet you... I didn't think anyone could forgive such an act. The Founder was right to trust in you, as was I. I promise you will be freed of this curse. Even if the gods themselves try to stop us, I will be by your side. You have my word.
Go then, and carry my hopes with you. Love is stronger than any justice meted out by a mad god. Let that be Merkel's legacy to the plains, that in the end his cruelty broke before a mortal's resolve.
Don't mistake what I said. I said I won't kill you. Now, I didn't say I forgave you. In the back here, we have a couple chests, it looks like. Including... Morning Ring and... Thayan Knight Half-Plate. And we have the Silver Sword of Geth. Let's read each of them. Morning Ring. Taken from the ruins of Shandalar, now known as the City of Weeping Ghosts. This item is actually two separate rings fused together by an unbreakable magical bond. Its sad tale springs from Shandalar's final night, when the city was crushed. Two mages, both skilled in the art and both deeply in love with the other, swore that if one of them perished, they would bind their soul into a ring so that they could be with the other forever. Tragically, the two were killed at the same moment, and their souls were each sealed away. But the second part of the promise held, and the rings fused themselves together, holding fast to some of the magical powers each had in life, and allowing each of the mages to rise as undead forms to protect the ring's user. Create greater undead, healing circle, and improved saving throws. Well, it's something. And here, the Thayan Knight Half-Plate. This half-plate is awarded to the finest of Thayan Knights, both to improve their combat prowess and to make them more subservient to the Red Wizards. Lower diplomacy and lower will, but higher AC, higher reflex, higher intimidate. That's going to be sold. And here, the Silver Sword of Gith. This long sword is rumored to have been forged by Zerthamon for Gith, before their separation into two races, the Gith-Zerai and the Gith-Yankee. Gith used this blade to free all Gith kind from their ages-long enslavement by the Illithids. The sword was said to have been lost in the Nine Hells when Gith ventured there to seek an alliance with Tiamat and never returned. It has since acquired several owners over the ages and was most recently used to defeat the King of Shadows. Now fully reforged, the power of this ancient artifact has finally been restored. Designed to utilize its power intelligently, the sword adapts to its wielder, giving powers it deems appropriate for its master's abilities. With every strike, the sword has a 20% chance of dealing bonus cold damage, and a 20% chance of emitting a sonic wave similar to the spell Sound Burst. The sword has been further enchanted with numerous abilities, each quite potent in its own like. Spell-like abilities. These abilities consume the sword's charges. They may be replenished by casting spells on the blade, which will absorb the energies. Alternately, the sword has been designed to recharge itself in battle, slowly restoring its power with every successful attack. Chilling Wrath. 3 beams of freezing cold energy are directed at a single target as separate range touch attacks. If all 3 beams successfully converge on the target, they will conclude with a large explosion of ice and energy, dealing additional damage to enemies in the area. Fortitude save prevents knockdown. Infinite resonance. A massive sound wave is sent radiating away from the wielder in a circular radius, dealing large amounts of damage and deafening and knocking down enemies unable to resist its power. Unity of will. All creatures in view of the sword are affected by its power. Allies to the wielder, united in purpose, are granted bonuses similar to those found in the spells Mind Blank and Heroism. Nearby enemies are given penalties similar to the spells Fear and Crushing Despair. Unbroken Circle. The wielder is protected from physical harm and magical attacks in a manner similar to the spells Premonition and Spell Mantle. Perfect Rejuvenation. The wielder is restored as if affected by the spells Greater Restoration and Regenerate. Sword forms. The sword bearer may magically alter the edge of the blade to produce different effects several times per day. Penetrating Edge. For a short while, all physical damage done is maximized. Anti-magic Edge. For a short while, every time the wielder lands a blow with a sword, the target must save or be affected by Mordenkainen's disjunction. And Defensive Edge. For a short while, the sword confers a significant bonus to the wielder's armor class. And overall, plus 20 bonus hit points, bonus damage against outsiders, bonus slashing damage, plus 10 enhancement bonus, plus 6 con, plus 4 strength, immunity to mind-affecting spells, immunity to paralysis, keen, massive criticals, and the other abilities. That is an incredibly powerful sword. Doesn't quite do the same massive amount of damage as Freezer Burn, which does 46, 3d6, and plus 7, but it is still massive. Plus 10, the strength bonus doesn't actually help us. The mind-affecting spells and paralysis improvements, we'll use it for a bit and see how we do, but we're still going to hold on to Freezer Burn here. Also, since it is a longsword, no, it counts as a universal sword. Hold on. Let me see. Our attack bonus is slightly lower. Damage 1 to 8 plus 13. Yep. Plus 3d6 cold, 46 fire, and 7 physical. This one, slightly higher attack bonus. 1 to 8 plus 13. 1d12 against outsiders, and 10 physical. So it counts as a longsword, I think. A guaranteed 10 versus a guaranteed 7 and the cold and fire. But it does have the other abilities, so we'll try it for a bit and see how it works, and how it looks, and all that. That said, yeah, the chromatic crown is actually good, even if I do look incredibly silly now. I'll hold on to the Moonstone Mask, but still. And these others I'm not going to use. Well, Morning Ring would actually be good for someone. Oh, we've already got resistances. Never mind. We'll give this to someone else. You can have it. You can wear the crown. Okay. Ring of protection? No. What is...
Yes.
Who's wearing a ring? Are you?
Yes.
Yeah, you've got a ring of power. Ring of resistance, that's it.
Yes.
We'll give it to you. You'll get the ring of you'll get that instead of the ring of resistance. So you'll also get... Okay, those aren't really important, but still, you'll have them.
Yes.
And with that, I am going to end this episode here. This episode has definitely gone on way long enough. And there we have it. The Silver Sword of Gith. Next episode, we'll go back to Shadow Mulsantir and head back to report in. That'll be in the next episode. So, until then, I'm Chester44. That is Travis Ignam, Sophia, Kaelin, Ganiev, and Amanjero. This has been a Let's Play of Neverwinter Nights 2, Mask of the Betrayer. And I shall see you all next time.